Jojo and Goku spent the next several months training around Mount Paozu. In that time, Goku's strength had increased immensely, naturally having to keep up with his much stronger Saiyan sister. Even Jojo, who vastly outscoped Goku, had managed to gain a little bit in terms of power, although she had dispensed with the scouter in that time for good. She somehow began to sense energy on her own without actively learning the technique. It was a very strange sensation, she thought, and it felt like some kind of weird telepathy thing, not too dissimilar to those weird fish people on Kanasa who could see the future. It was a lot more intuitive than having to lug around a device on the side of her head, and not to mention it was also a lot more stealthy. Also, Goku's martial arts skills were something that Jojo picked up rather well and found very useful. Not only was she much stronger than basically anyone else on the planet, but now she was finding ways to focus that original strength into more precise, channeled, and focused techniques. The Kamehameha though, Goku's signature technique, well, she hadn't learned that yet. Mainly because Master Roshi had expressly refused Goku to teach his sister that move until they knew that she was on their side for realsies. For someone like that to waltz in after 20 or so years and expect handouts of something that took me 50 years to master? Forget it, kid. Jojo was a little disappointed about this since the Kamehameha was pretty cool. She then remembered something that Nappa had taught her in a past act of showing off. Want to see something cool? Goku, of course, wanted to see something cool, nodding with gusto. Jojo stood up and puffed out her chest. She looked up to the sky, and within a few seconds, a gigantic bolt of purple energy streamed from her mouth and up into the sky. The beam was at least 5 feet wide as it transcended the heavens, and Jojo wasn't stumbling from the force or anything. Nothing was getting in her way. She was locked in place and locked on, keeping the beam square and true. Goku was in awe. When the beam dissipated and Jojo then turned around to face her brother, he looked so giddy. You gotta teach me that. Jojo looked apprehensive though. I would, but it's kinda unwieldy. I don't want to end up taking out any planes or birds or anything, or have you do it. As you saw, it's pretty massive. We'd need miles of room to make sure that we didn't hurt anything and I could teach you safely. Goku pondered about that for a second, then hit on something in the back of his head that he never expected to share with anyone else in his life. Well, there is one place that might do the job. Huh? What's that?
The room of spirit and time. Goku, are you sure that's wise? Muttered a naturally nervous guardian.
Yeah, I know, I didn't make it past 3 months the last time I went in, but I think I got it this time. After all, I'm not gonna be going in alone. Jojo's coming in with me.
Kami looked to Jojo, sizing her up, and looking very sheepishly back she was. This was the first time she had been in the direct and sole gaze of what was basically Earth's god. No matter who you were, being in the company of a deity was no mean feat.
I see, but I don't understand the need to train in there at this time. Nothing's putting Earth in danger as of now. A real first if you ask me.
He said that last part in an aside, but Jojo looked seriously back. But it could. There are more Saiyans out there, one even stronger than me, and I hope to correct that, with the help of my brother. She looked to Goku and gave him a thumbs up.
Yeah, Kami, Jojo's been cool training me. She didn't even have to. Piccolo's already no match for us. And besides, I consider that chamber unfinished business. I want to overcome it.
Kami looked to the door, and then back at the siblings.
Very well, but I will ensure that Mr. Popo is on standby should you require assistance. And Jojo? She replied confusedly. Try not to break our greatest fighter, okay? He said with a smirk.
Got it, old man, she replied. She was starting to get into the banter. And with that, the two entered the room. When they entered, they noticed a plentiful fridge which would go on to reproduce food, with no sign of slowing down or struggling with their Saiyan appetites. Already a plus. 2 comfortable beds, yeah, that was good. A nice little lounge area, but the thing that took Jojo's breath away, more than the fridge, was the sheer expanse of nothingness before them in the distance. She walked outside and took it all in from the patio of the chamber. All of the nothing.
Is that what you had to deal with as a kid? Yeah, you can see why I quit. All alone here for 3 months as a child? It was horrible. But with you here, it should be a lot easier.
There's one thing I meant to ask Goku. Why is this place called the Room of Spirit and Time? Goku then nodded.
Oh, well, time moves slower in here. 1 year in here is like 1 day outside.
He said this casually whilst Jocha was busy having her mind blown.
What? Seriously? You never told me that part! I thought this was a place where we could shoot cool laser beams and blow things up without penalty! Huh. I thought I mentioned the part about time.
Jojo looked dumbstruck.
No! Oh, well, now I have. By tomorrow, out there, I guess, we'll be much stronger.
Jojo was still taking all of this in. But then this was turning into something more of an opportunity. Maybe get the jump on Vegeta. Getting a year's worth of training in a day? Oh, he wouldn't have seen that coming. She looked evilly back at her brother, unnerving him slightly.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna give Vegeta a real scare. Should he ever darken Earth's doorway. You best be ready. I ain't gonna go easy on you anymore.
Goku was kind of okay with this, but hey, this was training with a strong person, so why would he be scared? The next morning would be when they began Goku's greatest training yet. Now, speaking of Vegeta, he and Nappa had started to do a little detective work, trying to figure out where Jojo had gone, which began figuring out where her pod had gotten off to, and where it actually went. Eventually, they came to Dodoria's desk, and he was loving the fact that the prince needed his help.
Well, well, Vegeta, you lost your woman? You do realize that Lord Frieza will be very disappointed in you. She was needed for his ultimate repopulation scheme. Can it, will you? I put up with Frieza's rhetoric, but that is where I draw the line. He wiped out our race, end of. He doesn't get to play God with our legacy and reboot it at his whim. Maybe this was for the best her going.
Dodoria looked sinisterly back at the prince.
Really? You want to repeat that, buddy?
He tapped his scouter. The prince fell silent. Nappa spoke up.
Listen, Dodoria. You remember what went down the last night we saw Jocha?
Well, since you're being more respectful than your boss, I'd have told you. She was doing your dirty work and finding Saiyan deserters while you drank yourself into a stupor. Remember?
Nappa's mind clicked.
Ah, yeah! Yeah, we kinda dumped her on that, right, Vegeta?
The prince was still holding his tongue, but silently nodded.
Oh, we go to the navigation center and plot where her pod went and her last scouter recording, see? Not exactly hard, Vegeta.
Vegeta growled with annoyance, but agreed. Whereas Dodoria laughed.
Surely you could have figured that out for yourself, Vegeta. Even your darter-head lackey got there before you did.
Vegeta didn't say another word. He simply stormed out of the room, leaving Nappa trailing in his wake. Dodoria laid back on his chair and sighed.
God, I love my job.
And that's how Nappa and Vegeta's quest for Jojo began. They went to secure the data needed to track Jojo's last known movements, through rather aggressive means, namely killing the guy in charge of actual navigation recordings when he wouldn't give them the data in a timely manner. And they promptly went on a little joyride across the stars to go and find her. After all, Frieza was busy, so they managed to get the slip at the time. And when he found out Frieza that Vegeta was off looking for the Saiyan woman, he half-heartedly approved the mission.
Oh, at last, the Monkey Prince is on the same page as I. Let's hope he doesn't mess this up.
Like drawing on it with crayons or something, Lord Frieza?
Oh, very good, Zarbon. How I love your banter.
As the Saiyans were heading in the direction of Jocha's last known whereabouts, Jocha and Goku had exited the chamber, looking very much in need of a new set of clothes. Nevertheless, they had both come out of the room a lot stronger than they had done when they went in. Kami could sense it quite clearly. In fact, the entire dragon team down below on the planet could sense it.
Congratulations, Goku. You managed to master the chamber.
I sure did, Kami. It wasn't easy, but I couldn't have done it without Sis here.
Jocha looked very bashful, but she had also learnt a lot whilst in there.
Say, brother, you want to go get some ice cream? I believe I have some change in my...
She tapped where her pocket should have been, but it had been singed off, and what change was left was back in the chamber. She looked there and...
Oh, never mind.
They both laughed profusely, and even Kami got in on the act, having a light chuckle. But then, that finished very quickly. Something cut the mirth in its stride. Kami was shocked about something, and then started to seemingly talk to himself. No, wait. He was being talked to by somebody? Goku and Jojo couldn't tell who it was, but whoever it was enough to make Kami look considerably nervous. When Kami's brow did relax, he turned to them and imparted what he had heard.
It appears that you were right to be worried, Jojo. 2 Saiyans are indeed headed this way.
Jojo looked seriously back at the Guardian.
I knew it. Who are you talking to, though?
A being more powerful than I, as well as wise, informed me upon his inspection of North Galaxy. King Kai.
King Kai?
Repeated Goku.
But Kami, I thought you were the god.
I am of this planet, Goku, but there are plenty of other deities out there. The one in charge of all of us delivered this warning to me. They must be coming for your sister.
Jojo accepted responsibility.
Then I must leave this place. I can't bring Earth into this. It's clear that they're after me. I don't want to bring this wonderful planet into our personal quarrels. It'll be destroyed. Wait, sis. What do we just achieve in the chamber? Surely you're stronger than Vegeta now, right? What have you got to worry about?
Jojo thought about it, and she did recall the time that she had spent in the Room of Spirit in Time with her brother.
The heavy air within, the heat when traveling far into the abyss, the loneliness.
She had never experienced anything so full of despair before, and she doubted she would ever experience that again.
And yet, it proved to be nothing that she couldn't beat.
Yeah, she'd beat Vegeta. She could do it.
You're right, brother. I can't run away from this. If they want to bring the fight here, we'll give them a fight they'll live to regret.
Ooh, Goku looked fired up at the sound of that.
We better get everyone else training too.
Kami nodded.
Agreed. I shall communicate with them and tell them to report to the lookout at once for training. They should do well in the chamber as well as our own training regimen.
Goku agreed. Jojo held out her hand though.
Don't contact Ten Shinhan. I got something in mind for him. Meet me back at your place, Goku. I'll be right there, okay?
Goku agreed, and Jojo flew off in the direction of Ten Shinhan, putting her sensing ability to the test. And she did find him, but it did take some doing. He didn't necessarily want to be found, and when he locked eyes on her, he was blushing profusely. And Chaozu's banter didn't help.
Hey, look, Tenny! It's your girlfriend!
Chaozu, stop! Jojo chuckled though. She needed that little bit of light relief after what she'd heard, but a serious expression returned.
Listen, Ten Shinhan, I didn't come here in a social capacity. Goku and I would like you to train with us.
Ten Shinhan was stunned. A personal invitation to train? With Saiyans? Train with you? Why? Does that mean you like me too? Jojo was puzzled.
Well, sure I do. I like you, Tenny boy.
You do?
Well, yeah. The way you stood up to me before, somebody hundreds of times stronger than you like it didn't matter. You've got guts. Calling me out when others would have quivered with fear at the mere sight of me. It was refreshing. You've earned my respect, Ten Shinhan. And my attention.
Ten Shinhan didn't know what to say to that.
So does that mean we're dating?
Huh? Dating? No, we're gonna train.
Jojo replied with confusion. Then it clicked.
Oh, no, man. I don't see you that way. Actually, I kind of never really learned how to see anyone in that way. You know, after decades of being trained to be a killing machine, Saiyan elites kind of skip that part of life.
Then why have you spent all of this time teasing me then?
Ten Shinhan said with more authority in his voice.
I already told you. You got guts. And that's what gets Saiyans going. Sort of like how Goku likes to fight strong guys. I think we'd make great pals if you allowed it.
Instantly, Ten Shinhan felt a huge wave of relief surge over him.
All right, I can work with that.
He walked up to Jojo, and the pair shook hands. Let's get to work, the Triclops said. When the pair arrived at Goku's place, the younger Saiyan was curious to see Ten Shinhan here, somebody who had bested him at the 22nd tournament, once an enemy, now actively wanting to work with him and train. Ten Shinhan was obviously thinking the same thing.
Your sister is rather persuasive, Goku.
Chi-Chi, who had just put baby Gohan to sleep, walked out and saw Jojo and Ten Shinhan standing together, remembering the first interaction, and then wrongly assuming things.
Aw, are you two a couple now?
However, the reaction she got was unexpected. Both Jojo and Tenshinhan guffawed very loudly, and Goku and Chi-Chi looked at each other and were not sure what to make of this response. But soon, it became clear that this was no laughing matter in the long run, and that the three of them must work together to stop these Saiyans from wreaking havoc on the planet. Or make that four of them. "Hey, Big Green!" shouted Jojo one morning as the group were about to start training for the day. Immediately, Piccolo rushed at them, but Jojo caught his charge and pushed him back easily.
Don't call me that! I'm the Great Piccolo!
Sorry, Pickle, but you were green and big when I saw you fight first time. So, kinda made sense to call you that. What do you want?
Piccolo was looking very reluctant after his initial push. It was almost like he had been a test to see how strong he had gotten since they last met, and it proved that he hadn't really gotten that much stronger at all. In the company of these people, he was lacking badly.
I heard Kami's message and came to train.
Look, Kami's not here. Kami's up there.
Goku pointed to the sky.
I'm aware of that, but I feel here is where I gain true power.
And do what with it? Growled Tenshinhan, very much aware of what he and his late father were capable of when the tides were turned in their favor.
To stop those Saiyans from destroying the Earth. I may wish to avenge my father, Goku, but what's the point of that if you're destroyed before I get the chance to do so?
Goku smiled, completely understanding what Piccolo was getting at.
Works to me. Let him in, sis. He can't hurt us in his current state.
Jojo smirked,
You can say that again.
her eyeing up Piccolo, the Namekian growling, but was glad that he hadn't been sent packing or worse. And so now, the four of them would work together to stop these Saiyans from wreaking havoc on the planet. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now.